bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey everyone, what's going on? Happy Thursday, and welcome. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 100.7 The Score mobile app, and the TSportsNetwork.com, our website. Also on the television, Fox 34 News Now, YouTube, Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV. A whole lot of ways to take us in. However you're deciding to do so on this Thursday afternoon, we welcome you. Alongside Lucas White, I'm Chois Woodman. Ben Poorman across the way taking care of us. You can also hit us up. You got thoughts, comments, questions? Pour them all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Take the app anywhere with you, even listening out in Oshkosh, Nebraska, not Wisconsin. What's good, Lucas? How are you today?
I'm doing well. Hour 4 of 6. Still chugging along.
You can do it.
I can do it. Yeah.
I have faith in you. And Ben's working on hour
4,
but he was up here at 6 a.m. or earlier.
A little earlier, about an hour shy of that.
Okay. So everybody chug along. Bring in whatever you want to talk about on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We got plenty to get into over the next 3 hours or so. Of course, more in the Brendan Sorsby front as our advantageous judge seems to have gone by the wayside.
Horse name, advantageous judge.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah. 2014 playoff. People are still talking. Big Ten, big-time supporters. Josh Pate, about as big of a antithesis to the playoff as you're going to find. The 2014 one. He didn't like the expansion from 4 teams either, but we'll hear from him a little bit later. Texas Tech softball on the eve. Heck, the game should be over tomorrow about this time.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll be like late in the game or just finishing the game for Tech softball because we've got a 10 a.m. first pitch between Tech and Florida. So we'll talk a little Red Raiders and our expectations for them moving forward. We got anonymous Big 12 coaches talking about other programs. We'll get into that. That's always fun. If you believe it.
Yeah.
Do you believe those kind of articles where there's other coaches talking? I think they probably open up.
For me, I enjoy reading it and then trying to guess who
that's where I'm at.
Coach is.
Yeah, trying to figure out, okay, who's saying this in particular. CBS Sports put out a post-spring Big 12 power ranking, Shehan Jaraja, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. We'll fill you in on that one. And there's some interesting comments regarding Texas Tech in particular. So all of the above, plenty to get into over the next 3 hours or so. You know what today is, Lucas?
Thursday the 21st.
You are correct on that. But what's special about Thursday the 21st in this calendar year?
Can't say that I do.
It marks 100 days until the start of college football season.
Yeah, I saw that on X.
We are 100 days out. In Lubbock, we're 107 days away from the season officially getting underway, but 100 days out until we have some college football games. I think is the TCU Dublin game one of the early ones?
I believe so, yeah.
I think that one's going to be one that's 100 days out. So.
Yeah, that's week 0, like Iowa State, Kansas State was.
So we expect, I think the expectation is next year, 2027, we'll have everybody playing pretty well in week 0. So I'm a fan of such things. But do you want the calendar moved up? The college football calendar? to where it just starts a week earlier?
I would assume it would be reasoning for the college football playoff expansion.
Yeah, I think it allows you to adjust the calendar accordingly. Not that you have a lack of space in this month of December, but I think that would be its main purpose.
I'd be okay with it.
You could square in 2 bye weeks too. Which I think would be a good thing for college football. If you had 2 different bye weeks and start in week 0, I think that's actually a pretty good thing. But there's so many teams already starting week 0, it seems to make sense to just kind of open it up to everybody that wants to. So, so 100 days out from the start of football season. We're at 107 from the start of Texas Tech on September 5th. Looking forward to that.
Was last year opening the first game on your birthday?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. It's happened a few times.
Yeah.
It's August 30th is the birthday, so I think that would fit. Because I think August 30th is pretty well the earliest date we get college football. I think that's kind of how it works with the schedule. Normally for week 1 games, and then usually the year after that it flips back to September 5th and then works its way back. But I don't know. I'm not good with math. And then you throw in leap years. It's like, I'm not usually excellent with that. All right, y'all tell us what you think, the thoughts, the comments, the questions, whatever you may have on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. We haven't had you on this side of the glass in a while, Lucas. The Brendan Sorsby stuff, you're probably as neutral of a party as we have around these parts, if for being honest. You've started to slant towards Texas Tech a little bit more now that you're married to a Red Raider, so that's a good thing. But coming up a little bit later, I want to get your true feelings on the Brendan Sorsby situation, feelings of what you think, if he will play or not. Should he play? Should there be grace? What's the right amount of punishment? All of those sorts of things. We'll get into the Brendan Sorsby. Before the should, do you think he will play in 2026?
He will play, but it won't be for Tech.
So you think he'll play pro football?
Could.
Okay. Interesting.
There's a lot of avenues. But, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say I do want him to play for Tech.
Yeah.
I do want him to play for Tech.
But you don't think he will?
I don't think he will.
Y'all can tell us your thoughts, opinions, whatever you have. We welcome it on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We got plenty to get into over the next 3 hours or so, including some headlines. We bring those your way coming up next. This is The Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy to be part of your Thursday afternoon. This is The Bottom Line. Hanging out with you till 3 o'clock today on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Lucas, no offense to you. I was really hoping we had a 2-hour show today because Texas Tech baseball, if they were still alive, would have been playing at 2 o'clock today. So
I would have been okay with it.
I was a little disappointed that we're having to be here for the full 3, but I'm glad that we get to hang out with all of you guys. Don't be so sad.
It's grounded into a double play.
He beat it out. Check that again. Never mind. Georgia and Mississippi State's what we've got on currently. There's some Big 12 baseball going on. I'm at the point where I don't want to watch Big 12 baseball that much right now. I'm one of those fans that usually takes about a week or so, a few days at least, to to exit when my team loses out.
Yeah.
To just give me like March Madness. Typically, I'll watch a lot less that same weekend, but go back to it the following week. Same with like postseason. Cowboys lose an early game. I don't know how much the rest of the NFL weekend I'm watching, but
are you glad Baylor beat BYU though?
No. I mean, it's like I don't really have. I didn't care about that result that much. I probably would have said BYU is who I'd rather win, but
I get to watch West Virginia tonight, so
they're the favorites to win it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a good thing for them. All right, so Brendan Sorsby, his name's been all over the headlines again these last couple of days. Also, obviously, this week, the news that's come out is that his lawyers are filing for an injunction for him to play immediately. The other news is that the judge, Hayes, who's a two-time Texas Tech grad and big-time Texas Tech fan, first the news was, this is who's residing over this case. And then we learned yesterday he is recusing himself from this. I got to be honest, I was like, darn. Kind of, I know what the right thing is, and Judge Hayes doing this is doing this correctly, how it should be. But I've also seen Ole Miss have advantageous judges for Trinidad Chambliss, and I've seen other situations similar where the judges haven't recused themselves. This is the right thing. But I was like, man, there goes one of our advantages.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not wanting Brendan Sorsby to play, because it's slimy and you can find a way to play. I want to play, and I want him to play, and I want to be able to root for him all the way. It's such mixed emotions on all of this stuff for me lately. You said you do want him to play.
I do.
But you don't necessarily expect him to play. You think the supplemental draft stuff is going to play into it a lot more.
That's truthfully where my mind goes.
It's a month and a day till the deadline hits. June 22nd is the deadline. Initially I had June 30th is what I saw, but the June 22nd is what I read yesterday.
And there are teams, NFL teams, that are interested in Sorsby.
So the supplemental draft's an interesting thing when it comes to Brendan Sorsby and anybody. Because we haven't even seen any player drafted in the supplemental draft at all since 2019.
Yeah.
So it's not something that is commonly used at this point. It used to be much more common. But 2019, Jalen Thompson went in the 5th round to the Cardinals. He was declared ineligible for his senior season after an NCAA rules violation.
Yeah.
So this would be a similar situation. Oftentimes, when guys go to the supplemental draft, it is because some sort of problem. Josh Gordon, probably one of the most famous in recent years, out of Baylor. He was a 2nd-round pick by the Browns out of the supplemental draft. He's the highest pick in recent years. No pun intended. But he was dismissed. I really didn't mean to do that, but I'm not mad at it. He was dismissed for failing a marijuana test. All right. Well, like his 50th at Baylor, and then, that continued into the league. Anyway, we haven't had a 1st-round supplemental pick since 1992. It was the New York Giants when they drafted Dave Brown. He didn't declare for the draft in time, which is what happened a few different times. The Dallas Cowboys have the last quarterback. Brown was the last quarterback to go early. Terrell Pryor, I forgot about that.
That's right.
Pryor was a 2011 pick because he got suspended.
Mm-hmm.
So
was he the tattoo?
Yep, tattoos.
Okay.
Like again,
memorabilia.
Right now, completely legal within NIL rules. But back then, he was picked by the Raiders in the 3rd round. It would be interesting for Sorsby because I believe the way this works is you give up, you would pay the guy basically the same slot money. If he's a 5th round pick, he gets 5th round money. So this cycles through everybody, but you have to give up. The teams have to give up the equivalent pick in the coming draft.
Yeah, right.
So if you think you're going to be a great team and you're giving up a 2nd round pick, you're giving up a really early 2nd round pick. If you think you're going to be a bad team. If you think you're going to be a terrible team like the Browns always are,
yeah,
they could be giving up a really high pick. So great picks would give up a later pick, or great teams would give up a later pick. It's all very interesting. I don't know what teams would be willing to give up because Brendan Sorsby was projected by a few different publications in the immediate next year's draft as a first round guy in most, 2nd round at worst.
A couple, yeah.
So if he goes to the supplemental draft, if this is the route he takes, one, there's no guarantee that the NFL wouldn't suspend him. Because I'm not sure the best thing for all parties involved isn't a light suspension, 4 games or so, because then I think the NFL would look at that as time served.
Yeah.
If he played college this year, gets a slight suspension, I think the NFL says, okay, we've moved on beyond the gambling stuff. But if he goes straight to the supplemental draft, I almost expect them to be putting a suspension on him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if he goes to the supplemental draft, what do you think what's the highest pick you think a team would be willing to spend on him?
Well, also, which team needs a quarterback now? I mean,
would this
not
be
necessarily
a
now thing either?
It would be a future.
Yeah,
like you're trying to get a guy for the future. If you're thinking you could steal a 1st round pick here, a future 1st round pick, I mean, are you going to spend a 2nd round, a 3rd round?
That's kind of where I was. 2nd, 3rd, yeah. And I think, I mean, I hate to say this about the guy I'm really excited for, but I think Miami could definitely be.
They would be interesting. Miami, Browns could absolutely do it. I don't know where he would end up, but my interpretation of everything that's happened in the recent week, I think there's everything serving as a dual purpose, how they're handling stuff with the courts and all of it. But my interpretation is that he wants to play college football again, that he wants to receive that full guaranteed contract at Texas Tech. But you've got basically a month to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I do not think he will stay in college if he thinks there's any chance that there's that suspension, that he's going to be out for a whole year.
Yeah.
I think if they are confident before a month's time is up that he will be able to play some of the season next year, I think he's back in college. But they've got to be pretty darn confident in a month. If not, I think his name goes into that supplemental draft.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like he's going to be a hey, Roger Goodell just told all the teams don't touch this guy type of guy. But I think there will be baggage of, hey, he's good. You draft him now, he's going to be missing some time.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. A lot to still sift through in a month and a day. This is the Bottom Line. Bringing more thoughts from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line coming up on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy to be part of your Thursday. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 100.7 The Score mobile app. Chois Woodman, Jamie Lent here in the First United Bank studio. Lucas White across the way handling us today. Y'all keep the thoughts, comments, questions pouring in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll get back to a few more of yours here shortly. Half hour, we'll hear from Josh Pate, our good buddy. I have not had much more of an about face on a national guy than I have on Josh Pate. Used to really like his stuff and what he put out for the most part. And, man, he is souring me fast. So we'll bring that up in about 30 minutes. But right now, how about a question?
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be. All
right, Jamie. Athlon Sports puts out an annual article of Big 12 coaches talking anonymously about conference foes. Okay, I'm going to read you the 5 statements that are here for Texas Tech, and I want you to tell me which one you think is the most true in your opinion about the Red Raiders.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, first statement. Brendan Sorsby is not going to be able to play no matter what they say. There's no way, because once you open Pandora's box, it's over. There's statement 1 about Texas Tech. Anonymous coaches, Big 12 coaches talking about Texas Tech. Next one. It's hard every year when you recruit the portal. Obviously, last year they hit on all 4 of those defensive linemen. Are they really going to do that every year? I mean, that's hard. I said 5 statements. There's only 4. I can't count. Statement number 3.
Makes it easier for me.
Will Hammond is talented, but we all know with an ACL, it takes a long time to recover. There's 3. And number 4, I think they're still ultra-talented, so they can still win the Big 12. It's not just going to be easy. To me, it was BYU versus Texas Tech for the Big 12 championship. Can you say that now? I don't know. So which one do you relate the most with and believe is the most true?
Okay.
I'll reread it, whichever one you want.
You don't have to. The least... The one I find the least true is the last one.
Because you still think it is?
I still think it's Texas Tech versus BYU.
Okay.
Second least, I think I'm going in order. Second least is the ACL thing.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't think it's as much of an impact as...
Yeah, I think if he's back and he's healthy and he's playing, I don't think it'll affect him that much.
Right.
I think Texas Tech will do their best to try to protect him in that regard.
Sure.
Number 3, I'll go with the third one, which was
the second one.
What was the second one? Which was
defensive line. It's hard every year when you hit the
it's not.
portal.
There's no guarantee. That's fair. I think that's a decently accurate statement. Yeah. That being said, when you're bringing in high quality guys, like we talk about with the margin for error, chances are they're going to be pretty good.
And a large quantity of those high-quality guys, yeah, you're helping your margin for error out on that. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that one is. I think that one's accurate, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm still pretty confident those guys that they brought in will be good. And the first one, man, I am such a flip-flopper.
With Pandora's box on
the Pandora's box thing, I think I'm totally into. It's part of the reason that I'm like, he can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make him eligible because, man, that would definitely open up Pandora's box. But at the same time, I'm just like the NCAA over the last few years with everybody ensuing and lawsuits against them, and it just feels like the NCAA just continues to lose, and the courts continue to rule against the NCAA, whether I think it's right or not. Right. I think there's a chance that he gets a shot and gets to play again. So So now I'm flip-flopping again.
Now you're figuring out which one.
I'm flip-flopping again. Which one is the most accurate?
So you are leaning towards disagreeing with all 4 statements.
I could make a case against all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
could make a case for all of them, though.
Yeah.
Read them to me again.
Okay. Brendan Sorsby's not going to be able to play no matter what they say. There's no way, because once you open Pandora's box, it's over. Second statement, these are, if you're just joining, anonymous Big 12 coaches talking about Texas Tech. It's hard every year when you recruit the portal. Obviously, last year they hit on all 4 defensive linemen. Are they really going to do that every year? I mean, that's hard. Will Hammond is talented, but we all know with the ACL, it takes a long time to recover. And then I think they're still ultra talented, so they can still win the Big 12. It's just not going to be easy. To me, it was BYU versus Texas Tech for the Big 12 championship. Can you say that now? I don't know.
If you just take away to me, it was Texas Tech versus BYU. I think that one's the one I'm most in on. It's just not going to be easy.
Yeah.
That's where I was.
Okay.
That's the one I think I agree with the most.
I think so. Lucas?
And what about you, Choice?
Oh, no, Lucas
go first.
Yeah.
I would have... Man. I think the Hammond
is the
ACL, it does take a long time to come back, for sure. But at the same time, the defensive line hitting on all 4 like they did last year.
But you're bringing in guys that have been really good at other places.
Yeah,
right. And since it worked last year, it does feel like
it's not like you're bringing in guys that were really good in high school.
You're bringing in the top end of the portal.
Yeah, when it comes to defensive line.
And if you miss on one of those guys, then it's like, okay, you still got the others to fall back on. So for me, I actually do go with the ACL here.
Yeah.
And it's not because of that I don't think that he can be good or be decent. It's that if you fully rely on Will Hammond here, one of the huge parts of his game is his mobility.
Mm-hmm.
And how much trust does he have in that early season or whatever that looks like? Not that he's going to get hurt again, not that it's going to be a bad product, but there's a trust thing with the ACL, and that's what has me at least just a little bit nervous. Is that the difference in winning and losing a game here? Could be. I don't know. But I'm with you. I can pick at all of these statements a little bit. I can see the other side, but I think there's some hope from these other coaches of, well, hopefully this happens with Texas Tech.
There is.
This is why why they won't be good this year, why they'll struggle this year. Because I don't know if they believe everything they're saying in those.
And when you talk about the transfer portal stuff, I remember like in the, at the beginning, feels like in the Beard era, he was bringing in so many new players and it was working. And then you had the 1 year where it was horrible.
Sure.
It was horrible. And it looked like a team that didn't like each other. And didn't they even come back?
Which one are we talking about? The TJ Holyfield, Chris Clark year?
Sure, I don't remember.
I'm trying to.
And they come back from the Big 12 tournament, and it was pretty well known that if they got a bid to the NIT or something like that, they did not have any desire to play any more basketball.
That was the first year under Beard, right? I think that was. I think that was the first one, and it was filled with transfer players. Because I think that was the.
I don't think that was the first
Anthony,
because I think he took Tubby Smith's team and did good things with him his first year, didn't he?
No. Tubby's. There was expectation that he was going to do well with that team, right?
Tommy Hamilton
and that group. I think that was the first group. Was it Naeem Stevenson or no? Who's the short guard that? There's been several short guards, but anyway.
It just feels like every once in a while, the portal is going to blow up on you.
Like
when you bring in so many new
the
players.
second year under Mark Adams is a good example where that one went really poorly.
Maybe a better example.
But, yeah. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Thursday with the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score app. Chois Woodman, Jamie Lent, Lucas White, all hanging with you from the First United Bank studio. We'll return to some of your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We actually have fresh comments from Steve Sarkisian taking a shot at Texas Tech. So we'll get to that momentarily. But first, we tell Jamie he's wrong.
I don't think that's a harsh enough term, a shot.
Did you see what he said?
What I saw in the chat line is accurate.
Oh, I hadn't actually seen the chat line. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. All right. We were just talking about Red Raider basketball and an upcoming game that they've got on their schedule. My statement for you today, Choice, Lucas, and our fine listening audience, is that compared to the 2025 Red Raider men's basketball season, for the 2026-27 season, Texas Tech fans should lower their expectations. Tell me I'm wrong.
So, are you just talking about preseason expectations?
Just compared to what you thought the team was going to be last year.
Oh, okay.
What you think the team is going to be this year.
I was going off of what you finished at last year. That's not what I expected before the season, or even during the season. I think you fell short of expectations of what I thought you would be last year, which to me is a second weekend team or better, and losing JT Toppin had a ton to do with that. So my expectations were Sweet 16 or better. My expectations for this next year are to make the tournament. So I agree with you. They should be lowered, and it's mostly roster-based on why they should be lowered. You're losing 2 All-Americans.
Yeah, I think basically exactly what you said. The roster, it's just kind of a little, obviously it's still up in the air, but I think the expectations are probably should be lower. I know they have a home game against Illinois, right? This season. That's going to be a tough game again. But overall, I think lower expectations, but when things go well, should be excited for what goes on. So I agree.
Yeah, I think this is
I think that you, Choice, I think that's probably where I'm at. Like, you're an NCAA tournament team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that because I'm saying I feel like you're going to add some more quality.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're not adding more quality, I don't think you are an NCAA tournament team.
I don't know. I think you've still got enough scoring on this next year's team that you might be able to find your way in.
Might?
I would expect you to find your way in.
Okay.
And I'm assuming Momo Fai, I think is how you say his name, is going to be a Red Raider with this.
Okay.
We haven't had an official announcement, but from everything I understand, he's going to be a Red Raider. They may just be waiting on the announcement for him to finish his European League up.
Okay.
His professional basketball,
What? Wait, what?
What?
Wait, what?
Can you imagine if you were in a 5-year coma as a sports fan? Waking up to like a college sports fan being in a 5-year coma, waking up and say, wait, what? We're paying them what? Everybody just bounces around. That kind of started 5 years ago, but wait, professional basketball players are coming back?
Can you put me back in the coma, please?
Well, as a Tech baseball fan, that'd be a rough 5 years.
Yeah, let's go back.
Wake up. Wait, what's happened the last 3? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I believe Tech just got I'm trying to hunt it down, but I believe Tech just got a commitment from a high school kid in Crowley. Oh, he got an offer a few weeks ago. Trying to find that. Anyway, someone did ask on the chat line if we could expound on that kid. There's not much to expound on. This is in my opinion, this is a back end of your roster type of addition. This is filling a roster out type of thing. You're offering a high school kid really late. Mm-hmm. You're just trying to fill some roster spots here. Maybe he's one that's gone completely under the radar. Maybe he makes an impact, but I would be very surprised if this is one I think you're spending little to no money on and just giving him a roster spot and a chance to do something at the D1 level. Not that you can't get an offer from a D1 school or a Power 4 school if you're
without
not
being
good.
Really good, right?
Yes. So I'm not trying to insinuate that. I don't think this is a signing that is big. You've got 13 spots to fill, and I think this is a filler spot. That would be my expectation. If it is the same player. I haven't found the exact one that we're talking about. Jamie.
Yes, Choice?
Your homeboy, Steve Sarkisian.
My homeboy.
Rob Bro just sent this to me in a email, and it's labeled, Sark is a dumb butt. He says, it says, Steve Sarkisian took a shot at a school in Texas while stressing the importance of strength of schedule. Per Anwar Richardson, the Texas Longhorns coach, said, there's a team in our state that plays in another conference that has a schedule that I would argue if I played with our 2s and 3s, since he's doing the playing, by the way, we could go undefeated, and they'll probably make the college football playoff this year.
Is he saying that if he played us with his 2s and 3s, he'd go undefeated, or if he played our competition with his 2s and 3s?
I think he's saying if he played the same schedule with their 2s and 3s.
So that means he's not playing us.
Not playing us, no. Unless he was talking about another school like Houston or TCU or...
Well, Houston has to play us.
Right. Which I don't think is what he's talking about. But Houston is on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Sarkisian is a dumb butt sometimes. So I'll back Rob Bro up on that. What's the purpose in this? And this is out of context because I don't know exactly what's the article or whatever's going on with Anwar Richardson that's writing this.
Apparently he was asked by a fan at the Touchdown Club of Houston, is there any way to get the College Football Playoff Committee to factor in strength of schedule in their decision?
Oh, okay. So this is based off of him being a big baby and missing out on playoff last year. Because, again, they lost to Florida. This isn't about losing to Ohio State. It's losing to Florida. Which, by the way, Florida would have finished in the bottom half of the Big 12 last year. He would probably argue that. But Florida was not a good football team.
No.
They have not good football teams in the SEC, contrary to popular belief. They have teams that aren't good. Florida would have finished in the bottom half. And Texas lost to them. And Texas nearly lost to a few other bad teams last year, or mediocre teams.
Mississippi State.
Yeah. Should have lost that game. There was a lot of close misses for Texas. But he'll sit there and whine and complain that strength of schedule is what we got. Texas Tech's got a weak schedule. No one argues that this year.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a weenie move by Steve Sarkisian here. Taking shots. Our 2s and 3s. Guess what? Tech's 2s and 3s might be able to do it too. Because your rosters are a lot more similar than they've ever been.
Just feels like an unnecessary shot.
It does. He took an unnecessary shot at Ole Miss the other day too, which Lucas was for. But I hope it comes back around and bites Steve Sarkisian again, and they end up out of the playoff again.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the karma comes back around to him, because he's taking shots at teams that there's no reason to. Or what would be even better is if Texas Tech and Texas meet in the playoff and the Red Raiders beat them. That'd be the best. It's the bottom line on 100.7.
The best would be in the national championship game.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is time for the most interesting facts of the day, brought to you by Dos Equis, the most interesting man in the world. He's Jamie. I'm Chois. Lucas across the way. Jamie, did you know that researchers have documented 34 cases of wild orcas offering prey to humans, including fish, birds, and stingrays?
That's nice of them.
Like in the wild, not in at SeaWorld or something. They're offering it off to humans. Even crazier, they didn't just drop it. Each time, they appeared to wait for a response from the human after the offering, and they either take it back or abandon the gift.
I wonder if it was that they were able to sense that the human needed it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Like if they were in trouble.
Like when a dog knows you're sick or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
Or if it was just like, hey, here's these people in a boat, and they look like they're fishing, so how about I just give them a fish?
It would be hilarious if the orca's got like a sea lion in its mouth and just like, here, take this.
Here's a sea lion.
Toss this to you.
Here's a shark.
Here's a shark. Jamie, did you know America has more than 53,000 storage facilities, and only 20,000 are in Lubbock? Joking. That's more than all the Starbucks, McDonald's.
Owned by the same guy.
Right? Starbucks, McDonald's, and Subways combined. There's more storage facilities than all that. The rest of the world only has 10,000 self-storage facilities. We have 53,000 in America, and there's 10,000 in the rest of the world.
So does that mean we're pack rats?
I would say so. And America has 7 square feet of storage, self-storage for every person.
How many do you
woman
own,
and
Choice?
child living in the U.S.
How many are you renting?
I have had one at one point. We had one at the beginning of our marriage, but it was like, shifting things over. So I don't think we had it for more than a few months. It was in a kind of transition to move in together. I think that's the only one we've ever had.
Yeah, when we moved to Lubbock, we were living in an apartment until Mrs. Lent decided on a house. And so for 2 months, everything was
storage
in a storage building.
But we've never had one outside of that. Jamie, did you know corned beef is named for the large grains of rock salt, also called corns of salt, that are used to treat the meat?
I did not know that.
You like corned beef?
It's okay.
I'm like, you're a Yankee. You should like corned
okay.
beef. Isn't that a big New Yorker thing?
It's not like fantastic or anything. I did watch the Corn song this morning during the morning drive. I feel like it made me happy the whole day.
Watched the Corn song?
The Corn song.
Like Freak on a Leash?
No.
No?
The Corn song with the little kid singing that looks like your second child?
My second child. Do you know which one the second child is?
Yeah. I love corn.
You didn't show me this video?
No, I know the I Like Turtles one.
No, that's not a song.
No, I know that video. I love
You gotta
Korn.
watch the Corn song. Choice.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the band Korn for a little bit.
No.
Okay. I will watch this video then.
Lucas, you've seen it?
Apparently Lucas.
It's hilarious.
The Korn song. All right. Good to know. Jamie, did you know there are 43 sovereign states in the world with a monarch as a head of state, but none of the monarchies are ruled by a sole queen, following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022.
Okay.
I don't know how to say this. Eswatini in southern Africa is ruled jointly by a king and queen mother, The current tandem has been in power since the 80s.
That seems weird.
Yeah. Jimmy, did you know a lot more twins are being born right now?
Oh, really?
The twinning rate has increased by 1/3 since the 80s, up from 9 twins per 1,000 deliveries to 12. Currently, that adds up to about 1.6 million twins born each year throughout the world, which also means that 1 out of every 42 babies is a twin.
1 out of 42.
Seems legit.
Okay.
Just now, my sister sent me something, so I'm guessing it's the corn song. I'm guessing. I haven't looked yet, but she also introduced me to the Capybara song, so it might be.
Ask her if she thinks that the kid his smile reminds me of your second child.
Elijah?
Yeah.
Okay.
His smile.
I was making sure you had the right second kid. Yours is easy. I know which one's your first and which your second.
No, I'm not talking about favorite. I'm talking about in order.
No. Wait, were you talking about favorite when I said yours?
No, I was talking in order.
Right, but I didn't know if you knew the order of my kids. It was just...
Well, I know which one's the oldest. I know which one's the middle.
The oldest and the youngest are easy to distinguish. The second two are...
Are they that close?
Yeah, people think they're twins all the time. Height-wise, they're...
Elijah's older than Jazzy,
yes,
right? Yes, see, I had it right.
You had it right. I shouldn't have questioned you.
You should not have.
I will never question you again today. Texter here. How is that a shot at Texas Tech? This is user HCOP, by the way. I'd say it's more of a shot at the rest of the Big 12. It can be both.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it to me it insinuates that the only reason Texas Tech's in the college football playoff is because they have an easy schedule.
That's how I read it. Too.
That's how I read it. But
I don't know how you
technically it is a shot at the competition that Texas Tech is playing on their schedule this year.
I don't know how you can't read it as not a shot at Texas Tech. I don't like. You have to be pretty dense to think that it's not a shot at Texas Tech.
Or very jaded to think that he wasn't trying to take a shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was absolutely a shot at Texas Tech, saying, hey, if we were Texas Tech, we can win with our 2s and 3s out there because it's such a weak schedule.
Somebody's butthurt that we can spend money now like they can.
Yeah, very much so. Back to the Josh Pate stuff.
Really probably butthurt towards anybody that wasn't in the SEC that got into the college football playoff last year. And they missed out.
Well, that would fit the billing for HCOP and his normal approach.
HCOP.
This texture, back on the Josh Pate stuff, this example is used a lot, is how the all-time great rivalry games like the Kick 6 Iron Bowl and the Michigan-Ohio State game from a couple of years ago would be diminished. Yes, peak rivalry games losing luster is disappointing, which I still will get to that. But games between 2 to 3 loss rivals get so much more meaningful battling for a playoff spot when in the past their seasons would be over. Not to mention new rivalries will be created. Look at how the NFL Manning versus Brady, Mahomes versus Allen, those rivalries were built from playoff games and not the regular season. Expanding the playoff gives us more meaningful games and chances for new rivalries to be born.
Yeah, I can only speak from the standpoint of being a fan.
Yep.
If Texas Tech was playing Texas A&M or TCU or Texas or Baylor or Oklahoma State, the schools that I really hate losing to and really enjoy beating, if they're playing them in a game when I already know that the Red Raiders are in the college football playoff, it's not going to mean any less to me.
No, it will not. And that's
because those are schools that I care
understand.
about beating and hate losing to. So I don't think it diminishes those rivalry games in that regard. You think those people at Ohio State are like, hey, we're both in. Who cares if we lose to Michigan?
Do you think? No, not at all. And they're not going to sit players out of that game because of its meaning and its importance. If anything, the Iron Bowl's got more of a chance of being relevant when Auburn is 8-4. Like, you've got a chance at, or an 8-3 Auburn team, hey, they're still fighting to get in the playoff. there's the argument there is just, it's beside me. I can't understand how people think the rivalry games are going to diminish. That's silly. It takes weeks, the final 2 weeks of the season, where before 90% of the games are not relevant to a postseason conversation, and that takes it back to where maybe 60% of the games are not relevant, where there's far more games that mean something at the end of the year. But again, some people just don't want it, and those some people are the SEC and ESPN. Jamie, have a great rest of your Thursday.
I plan on it. You go watch the Corn song.
I'm going to. For Jamie, Lucas, I'm Choice. It's been The Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.